Welcome, everybody. It's 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and it's here for the STUG, that's the Sarasota Technology Users Group. We're having a class today of 1 hour, and it's going to be about spreadsheets. My name is Jim Cerny. I'm the Vice President of STUG, and we have several people online, and I understand this session will be recorded for your use in the future. So thank you all for joining. As I mentioned already, before we started, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask a question anytime. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. Okay, you should see a flowing brook. And anybody not see that? Okay, we're all set to go. As I mentioned last time for my last class, you just missed the rubber duck that went down the stream. So I'm sorry about that. We'll try to bring that back next week. Okay, welcome everybody. We're here to talk about spreadsheets. Now, spreadsheets are a beautiful joining of technology and humans with numbers and organization of numbers, CPAs, accountants, realtors, anybody who deals with numbers, including you. If you have accounts, you have investments, you have, maybe you want to track your bills, how much you're paying something every month. They're very, very helpful. Now, there's two kinds of spreadsheets that you can use that I'm going to talk about. And that is Excel, which is a Microsoft spreadsheet called Excel, or you can use the free spreadsheet that is available on the Google Drive. If you have a Google account, you can use that spreadsheet. It's absolutely free and it works just like the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so I'm going to use Excel to illustrate, and this is a very ground level basic introduction to spreadsheets. There's no previous knowledge required for this class, okay? So I'm going to start by, I think I have Excel as an icon on my desktop here, and I'm going to start Excel by double clicking. Now I'm using Windows 11. And I'm using Excel. I don't know what year it is, but there's a lot of templates that come with Excel that are built in, and we're not going to use any of those. We're going to go into a blank spreadsheet. They call it a workbook, but it's a spreadsheet, and we're going to open up a blank spreadsheet and start talking about it. So let me admit this person. There we go. Okay. It looks like it's pretty heavy. It looks like a complicated window with lots of options. I don't think I use but less than 5% of all the options that are available to you in a spreadsheet package. There are many, many tools. But we're going to explain the basics of a spreadsheet today so that you can become familiar with it enough to decide, hey, I want to use that and I want to track my finances at home. Okay. Now, the top bar is the menu bar, and it has all the different menus on it. You can choose a menu or a ribbon, and you will get the menu or the ribbon options when you click on the menu choice. Most people start with home. Those are the most popular options, okay? And this is the home ribbon or menu of choices for the home menu, okay? The next row down here, this is the name box. It's really, I like to call it the address box or the cell box number. And we'll get into that in just a moment. And then this blank line over here, the long blank line called the formula bar, you could also call it the cell contents bar, because whatever you put into a cell will appear in this bar, so you can edit it more easily. Okay, the main part of the spreadsheet is a set of columns that have letters identifying a column, and a column of numbers on the extreme left that identify the rows. A single box in the spreadsheet is called a cell. And you can put anything in a cell that you want. You can put in numbers, you can put in text, you can put in a picture, you can put in anything. We're not going to do all the fancy stuff. We're just going to do numbers or text today, all right? But a cell, you can click on any cell you want. And I think if you use the arrow keys on your keyboard, you can go up or down cell by cell to click on any cell you wish to address. Now I'm going to click on cell A1. We're going to create a very easy, basic spreadsheet. Do we have a question? Okay. Please interrupt if you have a question at any time, that's fine. Okay, in this cell, I can try to type in that little cell, but since I highlighted that cell, look at the cell address bar up here. It's A1. That is the designation for that cell, A1. There's no other cell on the spreadsheet that has that address. If I click on this cell, now I'm at the cell B4. And if I click on this cell, I'm at the cell C9. So the column comes first and the row comes second in the address of the cell. How many columns can you have? How many rows can you have? It's virtually limitless. You can have hundreds of columns, if not thousands. I don't know why anybody would do that. Maybe there's some business that needs to do that, but I like to keep a spreadsheet that fits on a screen without having to scroll too much left, right. You'll probably scroll up and down depending on how you organize your spreadsheet, but I like having everything fit left to right on my spreadsheets. Okay, well, let's go back to cell A1, and we need to type a title for our spreadsheet, a name. So we're going to call it sample spreadsheet. Just use the keyboard. And it's just like you're typing text. In fact, you are typing text. There's no difference. Notice that when I clicked in cell A1, when I started typing, the text appeared in the contents bar or the formula bar up here. So if I have to make a change to that text, I can just click in here and make a change. And this goes for numbers too. If you have to change a number, you can go right up here where it's easy to see and change the number or the contents of a cell. Now, I typed in some text, and it should be obvious to any of you that went to grade school that you can't multiply text or work with text because text is not a number. You have to have numbers in order for any calculations to be done. Okay, this is not a number, it's a title. And I entered that title in cell A1. If I click on cell F1, the cell is blank. If I click on cell C1, C1 is blank. There is no for class in cell C1. Why is that? Because my text wouldn't fit in the cell column. So it overspreads, it overlays the other cells if there is nothing else in the other cells. and it will show you the entire text that is entered in cell A1, even though it spills over what appears to be cell B1 and C1. It really is not. I can click on cell B1 and I can see that it's blank, and I can put some text in there. And look what happens now. Now I can't see the full contents of cell A1 because there's something in cell B1. If I click on it, there's the contents of B1. If I click on A1, there's the contents of A1. So just realize that the contents can spill over if there's nothing else in the blank cells. Now, what if you want to make the column wider? Well, that's real easy. All the columns are separated by vertical lines. And if you put your mouse on the vertical line separating A and B, you get a double arrow. And if you hold down the left mouse button and you drag, you can make that column any width you want. That's kind of neat, isn't it? You can also specify the width to a certain specification, but there's so much we're not going to be able to get into. I just want you to be aware of some of these major things that you can do. Okay, I don't want the text here, some text. We're going to delete that. So now that cell is empty. So now cell A1 spills over. Let me make this column a little narrower here. Okay. Well, I don't think I want the title in the upper left corner all the time. I want the title to spread out. But let's see what else. We're going to name this column. We're going to name this a column. And remember, this is just a sample spreadsheet. You can make your columns anything you want. You can make your rows anything you want. And I'm just going to use a simple, say, a car sales spreadsheet. You can put in numbers for your investments, whatever you want. So we're going to say this is a salesman, salesperson. And the next column over, clicking on B2, we're going to label this column January. And the next column, C2, February. Oop, I got to spell it correctly. Okay. Now, if I want to name more headings in this row, I can highlight the row, and there's a little handle down here, right there. And oops, I'm sorry, I'm moving the whole thing. And I think there's a way to I thought it would propagate.
Hey, Jim,
Yeah,
I think you need to click on both January and February and then get the bottom of the February and pull it over.
there we go. Thank you. I knew it was dragging that. Let's see if that works. There we go. Thank you very much. I'm glad you attended today. I was dragging it over from just January and it didn't do that. So we're going to just do 3 months. So I'm going to delete some cells. We're just going to do January, February, and March. So I'm going to highlight these 3 cells by dragging, and then I can go to delete. Oops. Well, let's just hit the delete key on the keyboard. It looks like it's deleting 1 cell at a time, but you can delete multiple cells. Then we're going to have some salespeople here. We'll say, we'll do all caps, Tom, Sally, and Joe. Okay. Now I'm going to make my spreadsheet look a little nicer. And believe me, you can do tons of things to make your spreadsheet look beautiful. I'm just going to show you a few of them. Let's say I want to spread this title instead of just in cell A1, I want to spread it across the top of my spreadsheet. So I can highlight the first cell and drag maybe all the way to column F. And then I can merge and center. And now it will merge that text to the center of my spreadsheet, which is kind of nice. Now that text is still all in cell A1. I can't even click on F1 or E1 because I chose to have A1 cover and include those other cells. I can highlight this and make this larger. Let's give it a nice blue color and make the text larger. And you notice when I made the text larger, the row automatically expanded to show the entire text. It expanded the height of the row. Okay. Now I want to make this text larger as well. So we're going to make this larger. And it looks like I need to spread out the rows a little bit more. So I'm going to drag this row over. And in this cell, I'm going to put the word total. Okay, now I want to center the words in each of these cells. So I can highlight all of them. And I can click the center tool here to center the contents of a cell. Boom. And now the titles of the columns are centered. So let's make these bigger as well so you can see them. Okay. Now let's say we want to start entering some numbers in our spreadsheet here. And I'm going to make some numbers up and I'm going to make them very simple so we can see how this spreadsheet works with numbers. Okay. I'm going to click in January and we'll say that Tom sold 3 cars in January. In February, he sold only 2, but in March, he sold 7. All I'm doing is clicking in a cell and using the keyboard. Sally, well, she's pretty good. She sold 4 cars, and then 8 cars, and then 5 cars. Click. Joe sold 2 cars, 7 cars, and then 1 car. Well, these numbers are kind of small, so let's make them bigger as well. I'm going to highlight the cells. And we're going to make the text larger so you can see it. Now, I don't want to center the numbers in a cell. Usually you don't want to. A cell can hold almost any kind of number, up to X amount of digits, as many digits as you want. You may not see all the digits in the width of the cell that you have, but they'll be there. Okay. And we're going to add another total row here too. T-O-T-A-L. And let's make that this whole row Oh, it made it larger already. Okay, we're going to make that larger as well. That's 18. That's good. Okay. Now, what we can do also, you can use colors in your spreadsheet. So if I highlight this heading row here, I can go to the fill color and make it any color I want to help highlight the columns and the row headings for those cells. Now notice the grid lines that divide the cell. They are gray, they are not black. Because if you print the spreadsheet just the way it is, you will not see any grid lines on the printout, because these grid lines are on the spreadsheet on the screen, so you can work with cells more easily. So let's do some totals. Let's say I want to put the total number in this cell. So I want the computer or Excel, the spreadsheet, to add 3, 2, and 7. So I go up to the formula bar, and instead of putting in a number, I'm going to put in a formula. And this is where it helps everybody to have Algebra 101 in high school. That's all it is very basic algebra. Instead of using an X, you use a cell address. So all formulas begin with the equal sign. That way, the spreadsheet app realizes that you're entering a formula and not text. Okay? So we're going to say the formula is equal to cells B3 plus C3 plus D3. Now, if I've entered that formula correctly, and I think I have, all I need to do is click somewhere else, and there it is. The total of 12 is in the total cell E3. If I click on the cell E3, I don't see 12 up here in the formula or contents bar. I see the formula that made the digit 12 appear.
All from the golf game up.
I'm sorry? I thought there was a question. Okay. Now, let's take the next row across, and we want to do a total there as well. Okay. So we're going to click on the cell. We're going to put a formula in here. Well, the neat thing about Excel or spreadsheets is they have hundreds of built-in formulas. And they're called functions. And if you click on the function tool here, you will get a list of all the functions that you can use in your spreadsheet that are already built in. And I'm going to use the sum function. By the way, I've never used any more than sum or average my whole life. So don't let the other functions fool you. They're for mathematicians and accountants and everybody else in the world. Spreadsheets have had 50 years to put in formulas, and they put them in here, believe me. So I'm going to use the sum function. So it gives me, by putting in the sum function, I can play with this window here by giving the different elements or arguments that go into the sum function. But it tells you how to do it down here. But, you know, it's too hard for me. We're just going to go up here and we're going to say equal sum in capital, S-U-M. Okay, there's the sum function. And then parentheses. And now we're going to give the arguments or the cells we wish to sum. And for Sally, the cells we want to sum are B4. You could put in lowercase or uppercase, it doesn't matter, B4, comma, B5, comma, B6. I'm sorry, C4. There we go, comma, C5. Sorry, D5, D4. I'm a little nervous because I love this stuff so much, you know. And close parentheses. So now I'm using a function instead of using the algebra math that I know I could use anytime. Now I'm doing a function. I say I want to sum the contents of cell B4, C4, and D4. Close parentheses. Arguments are in parentheses. And if I've done it right, I click somewhere else and I get the number 17. Let's verify that. I click on the cell E4 and I see there's my formula. I can go right up here and change that formula any way I want. And I get out my pocket calculator on my phone and I want to make sure that 4 plus 8 plus 5 equals 17. And it does. Because once you put in a formula and you come up with a number, you should verify the formula is correct and the answer is correct, then you can go ahead. Because many times you make one little keystroke error, you've got an error in the formula and it picked up the wrong cell and you've got a total that's not correct for what you want in your spreadsheet. So be careful. Okay, let's do Joe. We're going to click here and we're going to do the sum function again, but a little bit differently. We're going to go up here and put in equal sum by hand. We could have looked up the formula and done it that way. Equal sum, left parentheses. And now I'm going to do a range of cells. A range of cells is any rectangular area of cells. Okay, it could be, in this case, the rectangle is only in one row, and that is row 5. But I'm going to sum the cells B5 dash D5. Close parentheses. And if I've done that right, click, and I did it wrong, something's wrong. Oh, I subtracted B5. I subtracted D5 from B5. Now I forgot the continuation. It wasn't a dash. What was it?
Jim, it was a colon. Put a colon.
Thank you, thank you. Why did I forget that? I'm so glad you attended today. B5 to D5 with a colon. Thank you. And with a colon, you see it highlights those cells and gives me the total. Let's see if it's right. Click anywhere. Oh, I put the wrong formula in the wrong cell there. Oops. Let me back up. Okay, we got a 7 in there, got a 2 there, we got a 1 there, and this is going to be equal to sum, and we got something in there that's garbage. B5 to D5. And it highlights the rectangle, which is the range of cells. And if I click and see if it did it right, it did 10. So the contents of cell E5 isn't the digit 10, it's the formula, the sum of B5 colon D5. B5 to D5. Okay. Now we're going to do some totals down here too. So for this one, we're going to say equal sum, left parentheses, and it's going to be B3 colon B5, right parenthesis. And if I did that right, clicks anywhere, we get the total 9, which is correct. I'm going to make these cells larger. Larger font. I think we're using 18. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, if I take the cell and I drag the handle, oops, sorry. Let me move it back. Well, I'm going to click on it, right click. We're going to copy and then paste the cell here. And we're going to paste the formula. Oh, didn't like it. So I'll just type in the formula. The sum B3 colon B5. And we're going to delete the contents of the cell. We're going to, oops, I'm sorry. Delete. Okay, so we're going to make these things bigger again. Go to 18. Okay, so this cell has a digit 9 in it, but really the contents of the cell is not 9. It's the formula, sum B3 to B5. So I can copy this formula by right-clicking and click copy, and then highlight the remaining cells that I want, and right-click and paste the formula. And the formula should now be correct. 9, 17, 13. So you can cut and copy cells as well as you can cut and copy text. Okay. Now, we want a grand total over here. Well, there's at least 5 different ways of doing this. We could do a sum function, and we will equal sign, capital SUM to bring the sum function. Left paren, I'm going to do a different rectangle or spread area of cells, which is called a range of cells. I'm going to do the range B3 to D5. And then click. Oops, I'm goofing up my formula. I'm sorry. Let me start over. Equal sum. I'm sorry, I'm going to copy the whole formula. No, I've got sum and then do a range of cells. I'm sorry. Okay, equal sum. And now a range of cells, B3 to D5. Right paren. Now let's see if that takes 39. Now, what did I do? I did not total up these 3 numbers in column E. I did not total up these 3 numbers in row 6. I totaled up the numbers from B3 to D5 to get 39. Okay, you could do it different ways. All right, any questions so far? I've covered a lot, but it's all really cool stuff. Any questions? Okay, now, let's say somebody forgot that there was a new hire at the car dealership, and we have to insert a row. So we can highlight a row. And we can insert. I think I'm doing that wrong. Hang on a second. Highlight a row, okay, and then right click. And we inserted a blank row. Okay. Notice our totals. Our totals are still all correct. All right. But we have a new person here, and we're going to call it Mike. And he sold, let's make it real simple, 2 cars in January, 2 cars in February, and 2 cars in March. Okay, let's take a look and see what happened. Well, we got to do a total over here too. So we're going to do a sum equal sign to indicate a formula, capital SUM to indicate a fixed formula, and the sum is going to be B4. I don't know how I didn't remember colon. B4 colon D4. Right paren. And we'll see how that came out. Okay. Now, here's a problem. If we click on total 11, we see that the sum has been expanded from B3 to B5 to B3 to B6 because I did a range. And when you insert in a range, it automatically picks it up in the formula. Now let's take a look at this one. This expanded the range as well. So these totals should be correct. And this one, it expanded the range as well. How about the totals to the right? Well, this is BC, B3 to C3, D3. That's still good. How about this one? Oh, here's the range from B4 to D4. Well, we didn't change the number of columns, so that range was unchanged and is still good. But here we get to this one where we did the sum of B5, C5, and D5.
All your business now, and his caroling escape caught on camera.
No question? Okay. So this one is a caution to let you know that B5's, B, C, and D, it picked it up and the total is correct, but this is not a range of cells. It is specific cells. So if I added a column, this wouldn't be correct anymore because this cell has a formula that is directly naming a cell individually to make up the total. Okay, so you need to be aware of that. Okay. Any questions? Let's do some grid lines. I'm going to highlight these, and this is the grid line symbol for the borders, and we're going to add the border bottom, left, right, all borders. We're going to do that. Bloop. And now the lines are no longer gray, they're black. So if I print this out, you can see Well, let's take a look what it looks like. We're going to go to File, Print, and this is what we're going to get. You don't see the gray lines, but you see the black lines that you've inserted. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to print it. Okay. By the way, you see this dashed line here? That's going to be the edge of your paper of what can print left to right on your piece of paper. Okay, let's do something fun. And this is really, really cool. Let's say we want to draw a graph. And we're going to highlight by drawing a rectangle, dragging a rectangle around these cells to draw our graph. Notice that I left in the titles of the rows and I left in the titles of the columns. And let's see here. I think it's data. You can do forecasting, all kinds of things. I'm looking for a basic graph. Let's try home again. No, that's for inserting cells. I'm going to do a search on draw a graph. It's not very helpful. Create a chart. Learn how to create a chart. And the help will appear over here. Let's see if we can. I'm lowering this down a little bit. I'm sorry. X out of this. Data tools. I think they may have changed around where they, maybe it's insert.
Jim, it did come up just before you
Oh,
clicked
here
on
it is.
something.
Thank you. I got it. Insert charts. Here we go. And we're going to pick up our chart. Well, it didn't pick up any data because I didn't highlight it. We're going to X out of this. Delete. But there we go. Okay, I'm going to highlight the range of cells again. And we're going to come up to insert charts. We're going to make a bar chart, column bar chart. And we're going to make it 3D columns. And there it is. So when you find the right menu choice, you can do amazing things, right? We can move this chart around. This has now become a drawing that is on our spreadsheet. It is now part of the spreadsheet. Okay? If I go to print, file, print. Well, that's just printing the chart because the chart is highlighted. I'm sorry. Let me unhighlight the chart. There we go. The handles are off the chart. So the chart itself has not been selected or highlighted. All right. The whole spreadsheet is here. If I now go to File and Print, I can see this is what will come out. Not only my table, but a chart. Pretty cool, right? Everybody's in awe. Everybody's saying, ooh. Okay, well, what happens now? What can you do with this? Well, my goodness, let's see if I can make this a little smaller so it fits in the screen. So I can see everything. Okay. We can still read that. I think we're all right. Well, Sally, let's say Joe comes to his boss and says, hey, wait a minute, boss. I didn't sell 2 cars in January. I sold 6 cars in January. Well, you can go to the cell and it's highlighted. We can delete the 2 and put in 6 and click. And look what happened. The chart went up. This is really totally amazing when you work with any kind of numbers that you want to keep track of. Notice that it picked up the labels, Tom, Mike, Sally, and Joe. Tom, Mike, Sally, and Joe. And the number of sales over here. Now you can highlight this chart and you can do all kinds of things to change it. You can even lie. You can put in a different bar and lie with statistics if you want. Don't do it. I wouldn't advise it. But you can edit this chart. You can change the chart title, say first quarter. Sales. Okay. You can play with the chart. You can pick different colors for the columns. You can reverse the chart, I think.
Grandma.
Yeah,
Change chart type.
Want me?
it's right there next to you. Can you do it?
Okay, can you mute yourself, please?
Right there. It's on the arm. It's on your
And you
arm.
can pick a different chart.
Oh,
I'll mute them. Okay. You could pick a 3D chart. You could pick a line chart. And there's charts here I've never used. If you like your investments, here's a box and whisker chart to let you know the range in a certain period of time. We'll go back to column. Are there any questions? Nobody has any questions? Either I'm that good or you forgot to unmute yourself.
I have a question, Jim.
Okay, Anna.
We're not working with Tom, Mike, Sally, and Joe. We're working with, what we did during, what we spent money on during the month. So how do you interpret that into what you're doing?
Okay, let's say the sales, instead of the number of units that they sold, they say that you're going to measure their sales in dollars. Okay, you can go up to any of these cells. I'm going to highlight them. And we're going to go to number. We can, the little X here is expand to the number format, and we can change it to date, general, which is what we start at, number. And here we can pick the format we want to use. Do we want to use a separator? So we're going to go to currency and how many decimal places do you want? And we're just going to say okay. And they're now all currency. Couldn't be easier. It only affects the cells that I highlighted to select. Any other questions? Wow, we covered a lot in a short amount of time with spreadsheets. Let me go to my notes and see if I forgot anything here.
Jim, if I could make one suggestion.
Absolutely, I'm open to suggestions.
When you made a mistake on something and you wanted to retract it or undo it, if you look at the top left-hand corner, there is kind of like a way up, there's like a little arrow all the
yeah.
way up.
Yeah, right
That's
here.
that is undo. That will undo the last item that you did. And then
Very
if
important.
you do that one, it then will highlight, or it'll also light up the redo, so you can do it again if that wasn't the right thing.
Absolutely. So if I could, thank you, Huey, very important. I left that out. If we undo and undo again, we can do
Then-
several undos. Okay, this is before I change the title of the chart. But now I can redo what I've done before exactly. And when the redo goes away, you're back to where you were exactly. Colors, you can make anything any color you want. We can box these in. And we can make these by a highlight. We can change the color to a light blue. We can make the total row a highlight color. Okay, you can make your Excel spreadsheets beautiful. You can put a comment in a cell. If you highlight a cell and you right-click it, you can insert a comment. And if you click that, here's the comment. Watch for errors here. Now that cell has a little triangle in it. And that triangle, if you move your mouse to it, will highlight the comment for that cell. That's pretty cool too. There's many formats that are built in. You could do a format for a house mortgage or a loan. You could click a format for this or that or whatever, and it comes with all the titles and the row column headings already done for you. You just insert the numbers. Let's see what else is on my notes that I think I forgot. You can scroll up or down or left and right. I like to have spreadsheets that fit on the screen. They can scroll up or down, but I like it to fit left and right. I won't demo some of these things, but let me just mention a few things from my notes so that you know that they exist. You can freeze some panes and rows. You can freeze your title row. So when you scroll, the titles don't scroll up or down. They stay fixed, and your data can scroll up or down or left and right. So you can freeze some cells. You can give a cell a name. If you highlight on a cell, the address appears here, B5, B5. But I think if you click this arrow, you can give the cell a name, like any name you want. So now when I click on any cell, it's going to give me the cell address. But when I click on, was it Mike? Where did I do the?
I think it was Sally.
It was Sally, wasn't it?
Yes.
Maybe I didn't save the name. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see if it takes that. No, it didn't take it. guess I have to enter it and then save it. No, I'm sorry, I forgot how to name a cell. Let's ask it. Well, I'm sorry, I'm falling on my face on that one, but you can name a cell. You can name it anything you want. So you could name it goal. And instead of putting that formula, instead of B6, you could put in the name of the cell in a formula, which can make it easier or more confusing for people. You can center things in a cell, you can indent them. Always look at the screen before you commit to paper. Look at what comes out on here before you commit to your ink on your printer. And if it is more than one page, that's not a problem. Your printer will print it. You'll just have to cut it with scissors and tape it together. And it'll be a perfect spreadsheet. You can have a spreadsheet as big as you want. Let's see, I think, oh, we got to end up. It's almost time. I want to thank you for your attention. As you can see, I don't know everything about spreadsheets, but I know enough to be dangerous. And I know enough to make a simple spreadsheet for my finances. That's all I do. Just average and sums, that's all I do. It's not hard. Don't be scared of them. If you open up a spreadsheet, take a look at it. Don't be scared and try a little spreadsheet. And I want to conclude that this will be the last class for me teaching until September. And in September, we'll start again with basic Windows classes. We may start over, and I'd love to hear your suggestions for a class as well. So this is Tuesday, the 27th of May, 2025. My name again is Jim Cerny for STUG, Sarasota Technical Users Group. STUG.org is our website. And thank you much for joining us. And I'll have Huey stop the recording, please. Thank you.
I just have one thing to add. I appreciate your lesson here. I've learned some today. And at the very beginning, you mentioned a workbook and a worksheet.
Yes.
From what I understand, a workbook is all of your sheets, and a sheet is just a specific sheet. Like you're looking at sheet 1. Sheet 1 and 2 comprise a workbook.
Yes. And you can change the name of a sheet. So you can rename it like you would rename a file name or rename a folder. We can say sales. So you can rename a sheet. Thank you, Drew. I left that out. That's very important. A workbook, or what people call a spreadsheet, is really a collection, can be a collection of many spreadsheets. And you can give them all names and add more. Very good. Other questions or comments? Something I forgot?
Not forgot, but question. This is Barb.
Yeah.
Did you purposely not use auto sum?
No, I didn't purposely not use it, but there are so many built-in calculators or functions that are built in that I didn't want to get into using more than one or two of them. All I
Okay.
did is the sum function, but yes, if you click the function tool, you can get these functions like the average function as an example, and it will tell you how to do it. And then you can get help on this function. And boy, are there functions. There are so many.
Too many for us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot there. There's
Yeah.
my brother-in-law created a spreadsheet with all kinds of formulas, and he spent almost an entire day trying to figure out where an error was in one formula. And I said to him, you have Office 365 with Copilot built in now. And I said, why don't you just ask the Excel Copilot to help you find where the error is? And it took him less than 20 minutes.
Oh, there's one more thing I really want to mention. I don't use it, but it is very helpful. You can put in a cell a conditional formula. For example, if we had bonuses for the sales for these guys, we could have a column for bonus, and we could have a formula that is conditional in a cell that says, if the total is over 10, give a bonus of $500. And either it will give the total or the total with the bonus, depending upon if the condition that you specified was met or not. And it can get very complicated with that. You can do if, then, else's. If it's this, then do this, or else do that. Different numbers for different contingencies or different rules that you want to make up. And that's a whole complicated thing, and it's very powerful. There is so much in spreadsheets. Remember, they had over 50 years of doing these things. So they put it in a lot in here.
Yep.
Anything else? Anybody? Comments? Thank you for your time, your attention. I appreciate it. And I'll see you in September with another class. Feel free to always email me anytime. Give me your suggestions for classes. And I'd like to start with the basics again in September, Windows basics. Okay, thank you all for attending.